to get our house in order because judgment is imminent and it is soon come. And it's coming in suddenly for those who don't have ears to hear what the Spirit is saying. And then for those who are taking the very warning of the Most High lightly. We cannot take his warning, his indicator, which is the Spirit that lives in us. We cannot take it lightly. If we feel it, if he's bringing it to us, if he's revealing it, we have to listen. We just have to. We just can't say to ourselves, well, the sun is shining, and so I'm all right. It's all good. No. Destruction is coming suddenly. And if we don't have our lamp, our oil, our lamp trimmed and in tight, and have oil and be filled with the RUACH, we're not going to be able to make it. When he said he had to shorten the days that the flesh saved, or there'll be no flesh saved. Then the word say the righteous will scarcely make it in. Whoa. That is major. All right. Scarcely make it in. So we must have ears to hear what he is saying and do our due diligence, not slack up on what he's telling us to do, but we must tighten up instead of slacking up. That means fill in the gaps. We know where our gaps are because the Spirit in us. He will reveal and show us all things. He said, prove all things, hold fast, take hold to that which is good. So when we prove some things, we allow the Spirit of the Most High to do his due diligence. And we say to the Spirit, everything you say and do is right. I hear you, Father. If I need to tighten that up, help me to tighten it up. Yeah. So we're going back. Welcome. Shalom. Welcome to the Yahuah house of Yashar'el, our school of Torah. I am Yashar'el. And we're going to bring the word on tonight. And we're going back to our lessons in the book of Revelation. It's been some months since we've been in this book. And so we know that the Most High is coaching us and leading us to go back to that which he has started. And so we are grateful for recording, because the last teaching, whereas we taught in this flavor, is somewhere between our YouTube and Facebook profile. And so the subtopic is the book of Revelation seals our fate. And this is fresh, a right now rhema word that we must, as a people of the Most High, understand and know the person of our Hamashiach. It is the revelation of revealing of who we are, because what we are in him, who he is in us and through us. So we're going to Revelation, the first chapter. We're still on that 4th verse and that 8th verse. We are spitting out and excavating the portion that the Father has given us. And so if he wants us to go deeper and talking about in the spirit of the Most High will rest upon the spirit of my spirit of, that's in Isaiah, but in the book of Revelation it talks about, let's go there, Revelation 1:4, and then verse 8. Let's read that, where he talks about I am Alpha.
Revelations chapter 1, verse 4 and 8, verse 4. Yahuah to the 7 assemblies in Asia. Grace be unto you and shalom from him which is, and which was, and which is to come, and from the 7 RUACHs which are before the throne.
What verse that is?
That's verse 4.
4.
Verse 8 now, skip down to verse 8. I am Aleph and Tav. It says Alpha and Omega. I am Aleph and the Tav, the beginning and the ending, says Yahuah, which is, and which was, and which is to come, the Almighty.
And so he's telling us, he's giving us an invitation to prepare for the end, to prepare for the one that has already favored you, the one with the sevenfold spirit. And so when we go a little further, we dare to study to show ourselves approved unto the Most High, we understand that the power of what these sevenfold spirits represent includes us. And so as the Hamashiach is revealed, it is the Father. He say, I and the Father are one. And then not only that, he say, the glory that the Father has given me, I give it to you as well. And so we become one with him, in him. And so they are inseparable. The Father, Yahusha, is his salvation, is one of the many sides, the portion, whereas he raised up for the saving of his people, for the deliverance. Just like Moshe was a deliverer for the children of Yashar'el, a literal mere man, so our Hamashiach, a deliverer. Joshua, Yahusha, that took us from a place of coming out to a place of promise, as Joshua, Yahusha explained when we were, like I said, moving from a place of where do we go now. It was Yahusha that took us across the desert to the place of promise. And so we're getting back into the sevenfold spirit. And Maureen, Shabbat, if you could just read Isaiah 11 chapter, first through the second verse, which gives us another insight of those sevenfold spirits, and then we'll move on to explicate the spirit of BIYNAH.
Isaiah chapter 11, verses 1 through 2, and verse 1 reads, And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. Verse 2, And the Ruach of Yahuah shall rest upon him, the Ruach of wisdom and understanding, the Ruach of counsel and might, the Ruach of knowledge, and the fear of Yahuah.
So we see in this second verse of Yeshayahu, where he's talking about the Spirit of the Most High being rested upon our Hamashiach. As we already did some months ago, we talked about his baptism, and when the Spirit of the Most High fell upon him, rested upon him as a dove coming down from heaven and overshadowing this person that was born and birthed out of a virgin. And so that same Spirit, we understand, was poured out on the day of Pentecost in the upper room. And so where we stopped was, and the Ruach, Yahuah shall rest upon him, the Ruach Kukma, which was wisdom, we already did that, and BIYNAH, BIYNAH is the spirit of understanding. And so we've been in that one for a little while. I was just listening back earlier tonight, some of the teaching from that particular teaching, and it's just a powerful word, and it's such a blessing to be able to record and listen back so we can refresh our minds and our spirit. And so when we look at the spirit of understanding, we said that the definition of understanding is prudent. Prudent means the ability to govern and discipline yourself, by use of skill and good judgment. We need skill. Skill is something you practice. Good judgment is something you are awakened to. Good judgment meaning you're going to make the right decision because wisdom have given you understanding of what the outcome should be concerning that situation. That's good judgment. Good judgment is wisdom. So, and we can't have it without understanding. All these spirits wrapped up together make one powerful shalom, one powerful place of wholeness, nothing missing, nothing broken. And we got these spirits resting upon us: counsel, might, the fear of Yahuah, spirit of understanding and wisdom, and Garuba, knowledge. I mean, where could we go missing? Why? Because he knows everything. And so, understanding, we can govern and discipline ourselves by way of being prudent, which is the ability to do so. And we can't be prudent without the word. It is the word of the Most High. It is his skills. It is his judgment that we just basically humble ourselves to. So understanding means to proceed by insight. You have insight. You become one to what has been revealed or spoken by experience, meaning you don't kick against what the Father says. You have insight. You don't have insight until you are willing to do it. It doesn't do a man any good to have knowledge without being applicable, without applying what he knows. Becoming one with something, meaning you're willing to do it. You're being it. And so, in that way, we willingly carry out those instructions of the Most High. When we proceed and we have insight, we become one with it, we are willing to carry it out. That means we understood the power of those instructions, and we expect manifestation. We expect results. And that's where faith comes in. He has enabled us. He's given us all the tools that we need to call that small portion of faith with all this sevenfold powers. We can't help but be what he say be. We just have to be diligent. And so we have been given the opportunity for faith. So it's not when trouble comes. It's not if trouble comes, it's when. Then our faith have opportunity to grow. And we need good judgment in order to grow properly. That's why it's best not to be anxious. People are so anxious in these microwave times that we live in, and they act out according to their emotions, which means 100% we go before the Father, and we become our own counsel, our own judgment. So we need to work on that. And so in the spirit of understanding, it's called BIYNAH. BIYNAH is a Hebrew word. You can spell it BIYNAH, or you can spell it BINA. And so we've been spelling it BINA. Beit Yod Nun Hey. And so we've been explicating the word BIYNAH. And in our last teaching, we were on the letter Nun. Beit Yod Nun. Even though it's BINA, and we said the last letter is Hey. Remember, we also said it's spelled BIYNAH. So we need the Hey to go along with BIYNAH. BINA is just a short way to spell it. Or put an H on the end, BINAH. Hey. Or you spell it with a Yod. BIYNAH. Right. And so in the letter Nun, we're going to go to Psalms 119. We already started on the letter Nun in our last teaching back a few months ago. And so I'm going to try to tie the two together to see if I can do that by way of linking them together. And when we look at the letter Nun, these are our conspicuous memory cards that we started making about 3 years ago. We started with the small one, and then we made the big ones. And so we see the letter Nun in all 5 of its characteristics. We know it has form and shape. It has sound. It has a meaning. It has a picture, which is a seed. And then it has a number, the number 50. Nun. And so the meaning of the letter Nun is to continue. Air, sun. Continue, air, sun begins with the seed. So Psalms 119, I'm going to start at 105. We'll read 105 and 106, and then we'll begin to explicate at 107. All right? Shabbat, if you could read that for me, please.
Psalms 119, verse 105. Verse 105, Nun, a nun. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path. 106, I have sworn, and I will perform it, and I will keep thy righteous judgments.
And so we see that letter Nun. I'm just going to explicate. I can't help myself a little bit in that 105 because that word path kind of like jumped out at me. And so we know what the scripture says. It was talking about seed. And it was talking about seed falling on the path. And so the pathway is represented by the heart. Some fell on good ground, some fell on rocky ground, some fell in the place where the weeds were even in a place where it couldn't take any root or go deep in the ground because the elements, the sun began to scorch it. So if we're going to understand what it means to understand, we don't have to understand what BIYNAH represents when it comes down to this path. You got to keep this path, And, we're also doing a sequel of the house of Yashar'el is the set path. You got to understand that this path, the way it speaks and the way it's laid out, it cannot be eradicated, cannot be twisted or altered, cannot be basically just kicked to the curb. We must study to show ourselves approved unto the Most High. We must rightly divide it by being willing to be teachable, willing to be corrected, willing to be basically die. And so if a seed fall into the ground, a grain of sand, a wheat, fall in the ground and die, buy it alone. But if it falls in the ground, it can have place for fruitfulness, abundance, development. And so we got to die. We can't allow religion to cause us to misrepresent what this word is clearly saying to us. It is clear in what it's saying. And so only they who have an ear to hear what the Spirit is saying. And so David said it so well, your word is a lamp unto my feet, a light unto my pathway. It is noon, it is seed to me, planted in my path, planted in my heart. I am your son. I am your heir. Then that 106 saying, he said, I have sworn and I will perform it, that I will guard your righteous judgment. And so in that, he had understanding to the point where he knew that he was snared by the words of his mouth. He was snared in a way of, I understand that life and death is in the power of my tongue. So he began to what? Speak life. I will perform. I will be healed. I can do all things through him that strengthened me, through Yahuah. I'm more than a conqueror. I will guard your righteous judgment. He ain't say, oh, I'm just trying to get along. No, he understood. The spirit of BIYNAH was upon him. You know, it's just like Yahuah said, the Spirit of the Most High is upon me, for he has anointed me to preach the gospel, to bring Basar, to bring good news and good tidings to the broken and the bruised and the battered. Hallelujah. And so 107 is where we are. Then David begin to expose his understanding even more. He said, I am afflicted very much. Not a little. But I am afflicted very much. Read that. That 107.
107, I am afflicted very much. Quicken me, O Yahuah, according unto thy word.
And so he had insight again, discernment. You know, we're living in a time where people don't like to be honest, really, to say, you know, I'm struggling, I need help, pray for me. Just call you on the phone and say, I need prayer right now. Can you agree with me? You know, I'm going through some things. I got some issues. I got some afflictions. I got some addictions. Right. I got some trouble. Listen to this. Hebrew Lexicon 6040. Afflicted. On me. 6040. On me. On me. Where's my chart? Where's my chart I had to? Okay. Gotta keep my study tools at the So that word afflicted. O-N-I on me. Affliction, trouble, afflicted, variant. I'm in trouble. I need help. He is saying he understood that I'm not all right. I'm not straight. You know how we say, you all right? Yeah, I'm straight.
Yeah, right.
No, I'm not straight. He say, I am afflicted a little bit? No.
Very much.
I'm afflicted very much. I'm in dire need. It's like a man having his final breath. You know. He said, I'm not afflicted a little bit, but I'm afflicted.
A heap of much.
Right, Rabbah. Very much. Very much. And then he said, quicken me. I need a word. I need life. I need to breathe. Because this trouble that I'm going through right now is about to take me out. What his affliction was? Could it have been pain? Could it have been fear? You know, could it have been lack? Whatever it is, he knew the right thing to say to get out of it. Why? Because he was in relationship. You know how you need help. You know where to go. You need water. You know where to go. You know where to go and get water, right? You need money. You need clothes. You need food. I mean, come on. With the natural things that keep us going every day, we know where to go get it.
That's right.
Why can't we as a people understand that in our culture there's a way out of our dilemma? You know, giving up, throwing in the towel is never the way out. When people make excuses, you know, I just decided to do this. Well, stupid. That's all I can say. That's stupid. How could you sit up under the word and not understand that it is true? But yet you understand that if you sit in that chair, it's not going to break. You have enough faith to do something as simple as that. But yet you don't have enough faith or longevity to continue. Come on, somebody. I mean, there is no excuse. Judgment is happening now. But people get offended with words like this, that the Spirit is pouring out at them. They don't want to hear that. You would have rather him to judge you now than to get you later.
That's facts.
At least you still got a chance to say, I'm afflicted, I'm in trouble, Father help me. That word cut me, make me come alive, make me know the joy of your salvation, and make me not go under, make me not murmur, let me be content with where I am. You need to understand that your slight complaints can cause you not to continue, can cause you to go under instead of being catapulted to your next level. So on me, I am on me.
That's not how we say on me, in me.
In me. On me. He was distressed.
Quicken me.
Quicken me. Make me, I need some help like right now. And then he said, oh Yahuah.
Not right now, but right now.
Right now. And then he called on the name.
Hallelujah.
As Psalms say, you call on me in the day of trouble, I'll answer you and I'll hear you. I will deliver you. I'll show up because you called my name.
Got my attention.
So you think his name don't mean nothing? You keep on calling on that God you worship it. You'll get no results. He's not winking anymore because truth has been unveiled. He's not winking. There was one time he winked, but there's no winking now. So he said, according to your word, make me alive, according to what your words say. Then 108, he said, accept, I beseech you, the free will offerings of my mouth, O Yahuah, and teach me your judgments. Hosea 14, 1 and 2. Let's go there.
Thank you, son. What was that scripture again? Did you say Hosea?
Hosea 14, 1 and 2. So he's saying, Accept what I'm saying to you. I beseech you, O Abba, Yahuah. Accept my free will offering. I'm giving this free will offering. This is my heart. Accept what I'm saying to you. Oh, Yahuah. And come on, just teach me your way. Teach me your judgment. His judgment, what? Is his opinion. It is his final answer. It is his word. That word final is real good for judgment. I'm not changing for the sake of folk not liking what I'm saying. But my judgment is my final word concerning the matter. It is what it is. Hosea 14. Let's read that. Hosea 14, 1 and 2.
Hosea 14, 1 and 2, verse 1. O Israel, return unto Yahuah thy Elohim, for thou hast fallen by thy iniquity. Verse 2. Take with you words and turn to Yahuah.
Take with you what?
Take with you words and turn to Yahuah. Say unto him, take away all iniquity and receive us graciously. So will we render the cow of our lips.
Right. Call upon him, O Yashar'el. Return to him. Shema. Listen, hear his call. Hear his call back to him. Back to relationship. Back to Torah. We fail. When we fail hard, we fail so far and so hard that it landed us into another, worshiping up another God. Worshiping ourselves. Worshiping, even the fact of our fall was a result of us. The results of us even serving our enemy was a result of a heart fall. You'll serve your enemies, as Deuteronomy 28 says, because of your rebellion. Hebrew 13, 15, 16. Let's go there.
Hebrews chapter 13, verse 15. Verse 16?
15,
15, 16. 15 and 16. Verse 15, by him, therefore, let us offer the sacrifice of praise to Yahuah continually.
What? How long?
Continually.
There it goes noon.
By him, therefore, let us offer the sacrifice of praise to Yahuah continually, that is the fruit of our lips, giving thanks to his name. Verse 16, but to do good and to communicate, forget not, for which such sacrifices Yahuah is well pleased.
And so he's telling us, if you continue, do good and sacrifice. Present your body a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto him, which is a reasonable service. If we continue, the error continues. The error, the continuation of the error is an indicator of sonship. Is an indicator of seed. That's how you know you got it, because you cannot help yourself. You can't help but serve him. You can't help but want him. You can't help but consider his judgment genuine. Consider it right. Consider what the words say, gospel. When you say forsake not the assembling of yourself together, what you mean? I'm just going to do my own thing. When he says for us to assemble, what do you mean? When he release a word, if you do not forgive your brethren their transgressions and sin against you, neither will you be forgiven. I mean, the very fact that we can hold on to that word is the result of seed continuing the power to do it. Then back to Psalms 1:0. Okay, so we're going back to Psalms 119, and we're at 109.
Okay. Psalms 119, verse 109.
Mm-hmm.
My soul is continually in my hand,
Wow.
yet do I not forget thy law. 110,
Mm-hmm.
the wicked have laid a snare for me, yet I err not from thy precepts.
And so this is the testimony of the heir, of the son, of the seed. He's telling the truth. My soul continually. My soul is continually in my hand. Meaning I just can't blame nobody else. I just can't put, my hardship and just throw in the towel for whatever reason. He's given me the power to understand that I can do something about it. He knew the word. Like as I was saying earlier. He said, and then he said, it's continuing, so I can't forget your Torah. I cannot forget your instruction. The wicked laid a snare for me, so he got insight. There's understanding. There's perception, like we was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The ability to see what the Father is saying and to be willing to do it and not make excuses.
Yes.
Some people make excuses to stop, to just throw in the towel. No, not with the Spirit on you. That lets you know you don't have His Spirit. Because you cannot stop. You cannot. You recognize that your flesh laid a snare for you. You recognize that that same enemy that we was talking about was in you, in us. You understand?
Yes.
So we can't help but submit to what the Father is showing us instead of being dyslexia or got the case of I just don't quite understand. Boy, pride is a nasty thing. Pride and deception. I mean, you could spot it when you're spiritual. You could spot it. I mean, immediately. My thing is, how they get away with that? How you get away with that? Boy, you real sharp. Well, that day I'm shaking in my boots for what you doing. How do you get away with that? Or saying that, or doing that, or thinking that, without any remorse, without any crying out, help me, Father. Read that 11 and 12. We're going to close it out right there.
Psalms 119, verse 111 through 112. 111. Thy testimonies have I taken as an heritage forever, for they are the rejoicing of my heart.
So I'm gonna go back to that 110. He said, the
wicked,
enemy laid a snare for me, but yet I erred not from your law. Let me not pass myself.
The enemy changed it to Sunday, and I kept.
Right.
I kept.
And you
doing
checked
what
me.
you told me.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I
Or he brought me a healthy, he brought me a lucrative bait, you know, to wear me in.
right.
But yet I hold
Yeah,
fast.
it wasn't worth it. Not
It wasn't worth it. It wasn't. I saw the fire.
yes.
I felt it behind my ears, and I felt the righteous indignation of the Father. So he didn't get
You
me.
didn't trick me.
I didn't err from your precept because I know what your words say. Your judgment is imminent. And those who do not obey you are not yours.
112. 112. I have inclined my heart to perform thy statutes, always, even until the end.
All right. That's an error. That's the Son. So that 111, your testimonies have I taken as a heritage forever. So his testimony is what? His judgment. It is his ordinance. It is his opinion.
That lets you know it's not religion, it's heritage.
It's heritage. Right. So when we look at that word heritage, Hebrew lexicon 5157,
5157.
Nahal, N-A-H-A-L. Noon, Beit, Lamed. Nahal, N-A-H-A-L.
And that's for heritage?
Heritage. Nahal. So he said, your testimony have I taken as a heritage.
Heritage.
He did that. I choose to
And
take this word.
Your word. Testimony is a word.
Yes.
Your word.
Your word. Exactly. I choose to take it as a what? Inheritance. Inheritance.
That's right.
A possession.
That's right.
Possess it.
That's right.
Have, divide. So that means I'm going to bring division. Your heritage, your word brings a dividing. Because that's what the word does. It cuts asunder and it divides. So your testimony have I taken as Nabal, as a dividing factor to that which is truth and that which is in. And so I understand the power of the word when it say, I want my sheep on the right and goats on the left. I understand the power of your word when it say, the goats will be cast into everlasting fire and the sheep will have an heritage with him. I understand when he say, my sheep know my voice, and I do what they say. That's my possession. I'm going to take that word. Ooh, I'm about to run up out of here. I'm going to put that's the most valuable thing that money cannot buy. Understanding BIYNAH, you can't get it by being good or being nice.
Right.
You can't get it by being rich,
Come on.
by being, famous, and you got a lot of likes on Facebook and everybody just flock around you. You can't get this RUACH of BIYNAH without him. He said, apart from me, you can't do nothing. And so, if you don't have this possession, meaning you basically are it. You're not a professor. You're not interested in being a professor. Professors are just talk.
Yeah.
Talk is cheap. I don't want to be a professor.
Right.
Don't call me no professor. I'm not a professor because a professor is a talker.
Just a talk.
And he's a good talker. But one that has heritage, has relationship, has possession. And then he has, it's a Strong's synonym. So there's power behind Nabal. Nahal. Not Nabal. Nahal. Nahal. The word is something that you just inherit. You have it. It's an innate ability. Inwardly. So he said, I've taken it for a heritage in my possession forever. Meaning it's mine. You see, we have to rise up from fear to faith and say, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. That's mine. I own that by rights of my Abba. He's given me that. So I'm not going to allow any weapon, I'm not going to even agree with fear, doubt, unbelief. I'm not going to even agree with sickness and disease. I'm not going to even agree with any of that. That's not my heritage. And I don't claim it. You got to be tenacious with an attitude if anybody try to put it on you. Like I tell my children at our school, don't let nobody call you no kid. I mean, be nice and correct them, be mannerable, but don't call me no kid. Because I know what a kid is. The Bible called a kid a goat, and I know what a goat's going to be.
I ain't trying to go with the goats.
What? I know the goat's on the left. Marching the everlasting burning flames of fire to be burned and sent with the devil in the lake of fire. Don't call me no kid. Get these kids out of here. Don't call me no kid.
Call me a heifer first, or a cow, or a calf. A lamb.
Don't call me no kid.
A heifer could be sacrificed unto him, man. Give it something.
Because this possession that I have forever, don't call me a kid. Don't call me a goat. They call me a sheep. I'm on the right side. I'm on the side of righteousness.
That's right.
112. I have inclined my heart to perform. Look at all this activity, all this drama, all this work that he understands that I have to do. Faith without work is dead. What you mean I'm just going to lay down and slide on into glory? I already said the sinner's prayer. Sinner's prayer is a hoax.
I notice when you get on that exercise machine and you incline it, it makes
Right.
it harder, right?
Yeah.
So he already know I done fix my mind and my heart to go in.
Right.
And hard work, because when it's harder when you're walking on that incline. When
Talk
you lift
about
up,
it.
you know what I mean? So he said, I fixed.
Well, that mind got to be fixed.
I have
Do that
inclined my
incline.
heart. I already done fixed my, because mind and the heart is the same thing, remember?
Right.
I have fixed my heart
Mm-hmm.
to know this going to be a long, hard fight, and I'm going to do it even until the end.
I ain't giving up. If this incline might be taking me, it might be really stretching me. The incline is challenging me. It's taking my breath to another level. Because now I got to use what he's given me.
Facts.
Things I ain't used in a long time. Muscles I ain't used in a long
Yeah,
time
yeah,
acting up.
Yeah.
I got all this stuff acting up.
You know, sometimes people have an inheritance, but
Mhm.
they don't take it.
Wow.
But this inheritance that he give us in this, if we take it, then we can have what he is saying here.
Mm-hmm.
All of it.
It's an inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
So it automatically belongs to us.
Yes, ma'am.
But if we don't take it,
That's what it said, man.
if we don't take it, then, hey, we lost.
Somebody, your other seed
Somebody
behind
else
you.
can
Yeah.
take it.
That's why.
The seed
Somebody
behind
else
you.
can take it. They're gonna take your inheritance.
That's more for the next seed.
Right.
Double
Somebody else
portion.
don't take it.
And it is the devil to keep us from understanding that it is an innate ability. It's there
That's there.
if you use it,
That's
if you
right.
possess it.
Right there.
You chose not to. You forfeited it.
Yes.
You forfeited.
Give me
You
mine.
decided that these other variables are more important than what this life, book of life says. That's why I'm so glad that he judges us individually.
Come
but yet corporately we're a body, but yet how you feel like even how I feel. Or how I feel may not be how you feel. He gonna deal with me by how I feel and what I am accepting according to this heritage. This great big life that he has given me that is more abundant. Freely. So.
I want some.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I say know those that labor among you. Being in the right atmosphere, hearing the right thing. Be willing to do it. Be prudent. Be willing to do your due diligence. It takes work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the revealing of who our Hamashiach is, the book of Cook, I haven't said this word in so long. Let me look at it. No, I'm talking about Revelation. Kazon. We got to understand that our portion is there, but if we take it. That understanding is golden. It goes together. It goes with knowledge. When we get to knowledge, it goes with wisdom. Wisdom is telling you, but you need to understand that wisdom is your instruction to tell you what to do. But you don't understand wisdom. So how are you going to operate in BIYNAH when you don't understand the power of wisdom? 5 wise, 5 foolish. That means the man is depleted of the spirit. So that last part of that, he said, I have inclined my heart, as we said, I fixed my heart that it's going to work. It might feel like it's going to die because it's got to pump a little bit more to get things done. You know, when the heart is challenged, it pumps a little bit more. It needs more blood, needs more oxygen. So I have inclined my heart to perform your statute, your laws always. Some of the time, this is not synecdoche. I have inclined my heart to understand, to do your word always, even into what? The Torah. Even into the end. And so, when we understand he's the Aleph in the Tav and we're in him, seed meaning it all. Seed meaning all. To the end, I'm going to keep this. It might took me 400 years of silence, 400 and some odd years of slavery behind me. I understand the power of the end, the Tav. This is my possession. It is my heritage.
You got next.
You know, I got next. This is a mark that cannot be erased. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And so we pray this word has been beneficial to your soul and your spirit. And we say shalom. Good night. We pray you have a wonderful rest of your evening.